name is Marc Tassé. I'm the resident director for the American Center for Mongolian Studies. For the last 20 years, I've worked on a wide variety of projects from technology development, government systems transformation, small business development. What I found, because a lot of the projects I work involve different countries, people from different places, project management is really key in standardizing how the projects are managed and delivered to make sure that they're done effectively. If there's not a real good plan, a real strategy of how you're going to deliver the projects, it's very difficult to get them on budget, on time, and on scope. So project management provides that framework in which to effectively deliver a project. The biggest skill for a project manager is actually communications. The majority of what you're doing is communicating with different people. So you've got your project team, you've got your stakeholders, you've got your project sponsors, who are the people that you're delivering the project for, and as well as the whole community. So there's regulatory requirements, there's all kinds of different components. So a big thing for project managers being able to effectively communicate what's happening within the project and make sure that everybody stays informed. Second key thing for a project manager is being organized and being able to plan and think ahead of what's happening. So structuring the tasks for the project and being able to identify what are the risks and issues and how are you going to incorporate that into your project is probably the other most important part of it. Mongolia's done an amazing development pace since the early 1990s. If you look at the pictures and speaking to people that we do through the organization I work with, we really see how rapidly Mongolia is not only modernizing but changing and developing, which is great for the country. But to be able to do it effectively and sustainably, you really need to be able to plan and manage the projects as they're going through. There's about $50 billion worth of projects that are scheduled for Mongolia for the next 10 to 15 years. And to be able to deliver that many projects on that time frame that they're looking at, you really need to have an effective and cohesive workforce that really knows what they're doing and is able to deliver what they're looking for. Well, Project Management International is the Project Management Institute is the largest project management association in the world. So by getting involved with PMI, you're accessing not only 700,000 certified project management professionals, but an entire network of millions of people that are working towards being project managers. So what it gives people within Mongolia by participating within the chapter is it plugs them into this network. So we have a conference that's coming up, and we have delegates that are coming from Australia, from Hong Kong, from India, from North America, Japan, South Korea, and they're bringing their expertise and their experience of what they've done within Mongolia, and they're bringing it here to share it with the people. The other thing that it brings to the Mongolian people who are participating in the chapter is it gives them access to that standardization. So whether they want to do projects here in Mongolia or eventually take their career outside and work in other places, the skills and the knowledge and the information, the processes, the certifications they'll get through PMI are universal. They're recognized in every country around the world. All of the Fortune 500 companies recognize these credentials. All the developed countries, the governments, and the organizations that they fund recognize the PMI credentials. So it really becomes a ticket or a passport for them to be able to not only effectively work within Mongolia, but be able to go outside of the country and work globally. Project Management Professional is the initial certification that you can get through PMI. And it's basically a certification that, like many others, that recognizes the individual's ability to effectively manage projects. And then from there, as the individual gains more experience and expands their scope, there's program management, which is managing several projects as one. There's a portfolio management professional, which is looking at large multinational sort of institution-wide projects that they're looking at managing. So the PMP is your first step in your project management career. This is our second conference within Mongolia, and we're really happy following the success of the first one. This year we're focusing on capacity building, and what we're looking at is what does Mongolia need to be able to develop, to be able to manage these $50 billion of projects that are going to be coming in the next 10 years. How can they domestically be able to develop the capacity to manage those projects internally? So we're focusing on bringing in some really interesting key speakers with a lot of experience, and they're not just here to talk about their projects, but they're actually here to teach about what they've done within their projects. What are the lessons learned that they've had? And analyze one component of their projects that they're here and showing how they made those decisions to make sure that their project was effective. So it's not just a conference to come and socialize and meet other project managers, but it's actually designed as a learning experience so that at the end of the 2 days, the participants come with new tools, new ways of working with things, new ways of analyzing their projects, new ways of managing their risks that they can then turn around and apply into their workforce.